Okay.
I'm admitting all.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Give me just a minute. We're waiting to make sure everyone is loading in properly.
All right. Everyone from the waiting room is admitted into the meeting. Just feeling.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Zoom virtual jury selection. You've been selected as the jury panel in this case, and we'd like to welcome you. I'm Jennifer Bailey. I'm a circuit court judge. I'm the trial manager for this case, but I will not be managing the trial itself. I will instead just be making sure that the technology is in place so we can go forward. So I'm going to be talking to each of you just with some tech questions. I have somebody who is labeled as Tukutu. Sir, can I ask you to unmute yourself? And if you don't know how, the unmute button is that microphone in the lower left-hand corner of your screen.
I just had to accident unmute.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Tukutu. Can I ask you to unmute yourself?
Yeah, my name is Carlos Quiroga.
Okay. And sir, can you hear me?
Yeah,
And can you see me clearly?
perfect.
And can you
Perfect.
tell me what kind of device you're on? Are you on your cell phone?
Yep, it's my cell
Okay.
phone.
And can you repeat your name for me?
Rocky Cedeno. ROQUECEDENO.
Judgment
Okay.
27.
Got it. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Next year up, I have somebody labeled Daniel. Can I ask you to unmute yourself?
Yes,
There we go. Hi. Can you tell me your name, please?
Ingrid Herrera.
Okay, good morning, Ms. Herrera.
Good morning.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you see me clearly?
Yes,
And are you on a laptop, desktop?
laptop.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Y1D2, can I ask you to unmute yourself and tell me your name?
Hi, my name is Jack Balila.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Balila. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes,
And can you see me clearly?
yes.
And can you tell me what kind of device you're on?
I'm on a desktop.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Grossman 017, can I ask you to unmute?
Yes.
And I'm guessing you're Kelly Grossman.
Yes.
Okay, and Ms. Grossman, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
And can you see me clearly?
Yes.
And what kind of device are you on?
Laptop. I mean, sorry, a desktop.
Okay, thank you
Desktop.
very much. Ms. Myrick, can I ask you to unmute? And again, that's that little microphone that you see in the left-hand, lower left-hand corner of the screen. You need to click on that microphone.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Ms. Myrick, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you and see you clearly.
Okay, and what kind of device are you on?
Tablet.
Perfect, thank you so much. AFGE Local 0515, good morning. Can I ask you to unmute? Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Andrea Sullivan.
Good morning, Ms. Sullivan. And can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
And can you see me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Okay, and are you on a desktop?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see, Carlos's iPad. Hi, can you unmute?
Hi.
Hi, are you Mr. Quiroga?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Mr. Quiroga, can you hear me clearly
Yes, ma'am.
and see me clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and are you on a desktop?
No, I am in iPad.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
My next year is just labeled iPhone. So, ma'am, can I ask you to take it off mute? And it's a nice lady with glasses.
Hello,
Hello. Perfect. Can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Elisa Salcine.
Okay, and can you hear me clearly, ma'am?
I can, yeah.
And can you see me clearly?
Yes.
And you have some technical assistants there helping you out?
Oh, yeah. A little cat.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Celsinas.
Judge
Um,
Bailey, do we
yeah.
actually go back to Carlos Quiroga because I named number 27, the first gentleman. I
Yeah.
named him Quiroga.
Okay,
So
I
we
think,
need to clarify that.
okay, so the gentleman in the blue hat, because I didn't write
Yes.
his name down. What is your name, sir? You're on mute again.
Yeah. It's Roque Sedeno.
Oh, Sedeno. Okay, I got you.
Okay,
I got that. Correct.
all right. So Carlos's iPad is Mr. Quiroga.
Got you.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, then I have a juror named Celeste.
Yes.
Hi, are you Ms. Hernandez Esponda?
Yes.
Okay, and ma'am, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
And can you see me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, and then I have somebody just labeled as iPhone. And I'm gonna need you to unmute, ma'am, so that I can figure out who you are. And good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me who you are? Your name, please? Hello? You have a beautiful painting behind you and a window and glasses on, and I need you to tell me your name.
Pablingus?
Hello, ma'am, can you hear me? Yanni, can you put this juror in with Francesca for technical difficulties? We'll see where we are. And Robert, well, no, you stay where you are. Like I said, folks, I'm the manager, so I'm trying to manage. So if you can move iPhone over to Francesca, thank you. Okay, and I have somebody connecting by cell phone ending in 255. Can I ask you to unmute? And ma'am, or sir, who is this?
Yes. Hello?
Yes.
Yes. This is Wayne Ruddock. I'm trying to connect on my cell phone with the jury thing.
Okay, and sir, do you have video? Can you connect by video on your cell phone?
Yes, I'm trying to do that right now.
Okay. And what,
I installed the Zoom app.
perfect. Okay, well, we'll give you a couple more minutes to figure that out. Yanni, do
Okay.
you want to put Mr. Ruddock in with Francesca and see if she can give, there you go. Okay, so folks, I'm going to give you just kind of 2-3 minutes. This is the perfect time if you just need to go get a glass of water and go to the bathroom really quickly before we come back. Then I'm going to give you the introduction and explanation. Otherwise, you're just going to sit here with me and we're going to patiently stare at each other for just a few minutes.
Judge Bailey, one question. Is Celeste Mrs. Hernandez? Which is the bottom one?
Celeste is Hernandez Esponda.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Right, right, Celeste?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. Got it.
Okay.
All right, I got everybody, except the ones that went to the tech support.
Okay, and this is, we're just trying to get everybody fixed and everybody squared away. That cat loves you.
She was all over.
What happened? I know you're strong, Bobby. I know I need you to go over there, okay? Ahorita. Let me finish with this and then yo voy contigo, okay? I love you.
I just play with the shoulders.
Mhm.
And I always go play with the shoulders.
Okay. Ahorita viene Eric, juega contigo.
Okay, and as I indicated, just waiting for our two technical people that needed some extra help to come back. We have two technical specialists working with us today. So they're over in a side room trying to get everybody squared away. In some ways, virtual jury duty is a lot like regular jury duty in which there is a lot of hurry up and wait. But this will get much more exciting shortly.
Hi, Judge, I'm back. Judge, I'm sending you and Robert into the breakout room with the lady who appeared with her iPhone.
Oh, okay. So let me just explain who you are first. To everybody that's in the room with us, this is Yanitza Madrigal, who's one of our IT support specialists who's working with us on this product. You need me to go over there?
I'll do it at the end of the proceedings, at the end of the introduction.
Okay. So should I go proceed with the introduction, Yanni?
Good to go, Judge.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I, as I mentioned, am Judge Jennifer Bailey. I am the trial manager for this case, not the trial judge who you'll meet in a moment. That will be Judge Beatrice Butchko, who's a fabulous judge, and the trial team in this case. This is a unique moment. This is your part of history. This is the first Zoom jury selection in the state of Florida. This is among the first in the country. The reason why you're appearing today via Zoom is because the courts are trying to innovate in order to balance the constitutional right to trial by jury with the concern about keeping everybody safe during the pandemic. So as a result, and in order to avoid bringing everybody in a large jury panel downtown, we are instead conducting this jury selection via Zoom. As I said, it's one of the first of its kind. It is being currently live streamed and recorded as we speak. You met Yanitza Madrigal, who is a tech specialist who will be available to give you guidance during the course of the trial. There is a button at the bottom of your screen that looks like a little cartoon bubble, like when cartoons talk, and that says chat. If you run into any kind of technical difficulties during the course of this session, you can chat with Yanni. She's the only person you can chat with, but you can chat with Yanni and let her know. Let me just ask you during the course of this session to please kind of minimize the background noise, minimize your distractions. If you're not participating via cell phone, please put your cell phone face down and on silent. It's important that you minimize background noise and not be interrupted or distracted. After this session is over, this session's probably going to take about an hour and 45 minutes. You will receive an email from the 11th Judicial Circuit to tell you what the next steps will be in connection with this case. We are incredibly grateful that you are here today with us to participate. Along with the email about next steps, a couple days later, you're going to receive a survey. Now look, I know none of us like to fill out surveys, but again, this is a first of its kind event. We're going to need to improve this process in order to continue to deliver justice to the citizens of the state of Florida. So please, when that survey comes in, take a moment, fill it in, and tell us about this experience and give us your advice about how to improve the online jury selection process. So with that survey, Yanni, do you want to go get our trial team in? I will introduce you in just a moment to our trial judge, and she will take it from there. I will be off screen watching as you all complete our Zoom jury selection. Give us just a minute to bring them in. Oh, and one other thing. Again, this is a first. Please be patient. Something is probably going to go wrong. We have practiced and done everything we can to make this work as perfectly as possible, but it's a first. I can almost promise you something's going to go wrong. So please set your expectations accordingly and be a little patient with us. We have a team of people working to make sure that this goes as seamlessly as possible and as easy as possible for all the members of the jury. And they're going to be in just 1 second. Ms. Salcinas, can I ask you to unmute and go on video? There you go, thanks. And like I said, this is a lot like real jury duty, in which there's a lot of hurrying up and waiting, except that your coffee is probably better than ours. Okay, all right. I would like to introduce you to Judge Beatrice Butchko, who is the trial judge in the case that is set for trial. And with that, Judge Butchko, I will leave the Zoom and ask that you take over presiding in this matter. Thank you very much on behalf of the court and the people of the state of Florida, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, Judge?
Thank you, Judge Bailey. Good morning, members of the jury. It's so good to see you. I have to tell you, from the heart of a trial judge, I'm so happy to be in front of jurors, even if they are live stream on Zoom. We miss you. We have not been in trial since the pandemic was declared, although we've been working on other matters, but not in front of a jury. So I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for responding to your summons and for appearing today. My name is Beatrice Butchko, and I am a circuit court judge in your 11th Judicial Circuit. And I'm sure Judge Bailey already did this, but I'm going to welcome you again to the Civil Division. As you know, members of the jury, that being a jury is one of the most important functions that members of a free society have the obligation and duty to perform. Without your willingness to participate on jury duty, our entire system of government as we know it would fail, would collapse. That's how important it is that you all are here. As such, in an effort to restore services and promote access to justice during the COVID-19 pandemic, we find ourselves conducting a jury trial, at least the jury selection portion, via the Zoom video platform. Who knew this is where we would be about 8 months ago, right? Around Christmas time, who knew? But here we are. So in keeping with all recommended safety protocols, like most of you, I'm presiding over this trial from my home. And all the other court personnel and the lawyers and the clients are also appearing remotely from remote locations. I think Judge Bailey already introduced you to my bailiff, Robert Morcate. Wave, Robert. And he work together every day. I'd also like to introduce you to Sharon Velasco. Sharon is our court reporter. Sharon, wave. Can you wave? There you go. That's Sharon. She keeps record of everything that's happening. That's why it's terrible when I ask her to wave, because she can't type with one hand. And then I'd also like to introduce you to Alvin Rosario. Alvin's having technical difficulties with his video today, but he is our deputy clerk and he works for Harvey Rubin. He's the keeper of the evidence and the official court file. So thank you to everyone behind the scenes and with me in court for working with me today. I'd also now like the lawyers to introduce themselves. These are the lawyers who will be trying the case with you. For the plaintiff, Please introduce yourself and tell us who you represent.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brandon Wass. I have the honor and the privilege of representing People's Trust Insurance in this litigation, and thank you all for coming today.
Thank you, Mr. Wass. Mr. Baldwin.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Matthew Baldwin, and I represent Ms. Yusem Corchero and Mr. Darian Vega.
Let me ask the lawyers, do you feel on instinct that when I call your name, you feel like you need to stand up?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
lawyers don't usually speak to a judge in the sitting position, but now they've been practicing since March sitting. So we're going to have to break them of that habit when we ever move back into the courtroom. Mr. Rosario, would you be so kind as to swear in the members of the jury? Members of the jury, I need you to raise your right hands and take an oath at this time. Go ahead, Mr. Rosario.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will answer truthfully all questions asked of you as prospective jurors? Say, I do.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I saw their mouths move because most of
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rosario. Thank you, jurors.
You're welcome, Judge.
I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can imagine, this is a historic trial, a one of its kind. Just like courtrooms are open to the public, this trial is available online for viewing by anyone who is curious about the proceedings. The trial is also being video recorded. However, you must not speak to anyone about this case or do any independent research until you are discharged of your duties as a juror. And also, members of the jury, please keep in mind that there may be some media interest in this case by the different local and maybe even national news outlets. Since that is the case, please stay away from your paper newspapers if you still get those every morning. Let them pile up until the end of the trial. Also, if you happen to be watching TV and you see a report about this case, please either turn off the news or walk away from the TV or the radio or your computer so that you are not exposed to materials that are not appropriate for you to see and hear until the end of the trial. So please, do you all promise me you're going to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We must proceed as much as possible as if we were working in a live, real courtroom together. While we are in session, you must not leave the Zoom meeting or walk away from these proceedings. You must not take any phone calls or make or take any text messages to anyone. You must not speak to anyone outside the members of the trial while we are in session. This includes members of your own household. So in the earlier session, I have a 103-pound black Labrador who decided to bark in the middle of the session. I hope he doesn't do that. But it's important for all of us to keep our family and our four-legged family away from the proceedings so that we can all focus on what's going on. Let me explain what we're going to do today. During this initial phase of the trial, we will be meeting with prospective jurors like yourself in small groups. We're going to discuss any scheduling issues that you have because of the trial. We're going to be discussing any COVID-19 concerns that you may have and any other hardships that you may have if you are selected to be on the jury. So that's going to be in a little bit. If any of you at any time want to discuss something with me in private, you know that it's important for us to know, but you don't want it discussed in front of everyone. Just let me know you want a private meeting and our technical guru will put us in a Zoom private room where you and I, the lawyers and our court reporter, who has to take down everything during the trial, will be there. It will not be videotaped or taped or placed on the internet. That's a private conversation that we will have. In this initial phase of the jury selection process, after today, you need to monitor your emails because you're going to receive an email from the administrators who will tell you what to do next. Once, after we speak to the jurors and we pick a jury, this is the exciting part. We are going to move to the courthouse downtown, and we are going to try this case in a traditional manner. And that's where we will have the evidence presentation of the case. So it's important that now I ease your concerns about reporting to the courthouse. It's not what you think. As you have seen from the juror registration website, the courts are taking every safe step precaution to keep everyone in the courthouse safe. In compliance with CDC protocols, that's the Center for Disease Control, we have only essential personnel in the building. Everyone in the building and involved in this case will be wearing masks at all times. We will provide masks for everyone who needs one, for anyone who needs one. Temperatures are taken for each person entering the courthouse, and social distancing is followed everywhere in the courthouse, including in the courtroom where we will be trying the case. Social distancing will also be followed on breaks, and lunch will be provided for you so you don't have to leave the building. We will work to limit the amount of time this case will take. We have taken every precaution to make sure or to assure that all of us are safe. I'm now going to give you a brief description of what this case is about. Listen carefully, please. This is a civil trial. This case is about an insurance claim that Yusem Corchero and Darian Vega made to People's Trust Insurance Company for Hurricane Irma damage to their home. The parties agree that the damage is covered by the insurance policy, but they dispute whether or not each complied with their respective post-loss obligations under the insurance policy. Plaintiff, People's Trust Insurance Company, contends that defendant, counter-plaintiffs, Mrs. Corchero and Mr. Vega, refused to permit People's Trust to repair their home as the policy allows. On the other hand, Mrs. Corchero and Mr. Vega contend that they did not refuse to permit People's Trust to repair their home. They contend that People's Trust refused to repair their home, resulting in damages to them. This case is expected to end by Wednesday, July 15. Our daily schedule is from 8:45 to 5 p.m. We take a break for lunch, and we take several comfort breaks throughout the day for you to use the restroom or stretch your legs. Now, members of the jury, I'm not going to talk too much longer because this only works if you do the talking. So let me set up the next sort of topic or area of inquiry that we're going to get into. The first item of inquiry is going to deal with COVID-19 issues, all right? The CDC has identified the following medical conditions or health factors that may place people at higher risk if they contract COVID-19. These are the risk factors of the conditions: asthma, cerebral vascular disease, cystic fibrosis, hypertension or high blood pressure, people with a weakened immune system, neurological disorders, liver disease, pregnancy, pulmonary fibrosis, and COPD, smokers, certain blood-related disorders, diabetes, obesity, certain heart conditions, as well as being of advanced age. Members of the jury, does anyone on our panel here today have any health concerns for themselves or their family, including concerns about COVID-19 that would affect their ability to sit on this jury? So if you would like to discuss that, now is the time. give me a showing of hands and I'm going to make a list. And if you want to discuss the issue in private, let me know that as well. So I'm going to get my paper ready. Does anybody want to discuss this issue? Don't be shy. Okay, so I have juror number 17, Grossman. Juror number 29, and that is Salcines. A shy juror number 18. I see you sneaking your hand up. Merrick. Okay. Who else? Okay. So I'm going to ask Yanni, our IT guru, to please place the lawyers and I and our court reporter in a private room with juror number 17, Ms. Grossman.
Perfect, Judge. Ms. Grossman, you are going to be moved to another room. You don't have to do anything on your screen. We're going to take care of it. Just in a little bit, you're going to leave this session and you're going to go into a room with just the judge and the attorney.
Okay.
Mr. Wass, you are, and Sharon and Judge Pacheco, you are able to go ahead and click on breakout room and you'll be able to see private breakout room number 1.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Yanni.
Mr. Baldwin, you can also.
You're muted, Judge.
Judge muted.
Judge, you're muted.
Every time we zap in and out, it reminds me of Star Trek. I feel like we're being teleported somewhere and we come back. Yanni, we would like to now go with juror number 29. Salcinas, please.
Perfect, Judge. Ms. Halsina has been moved to a private breakout room, and you, along with the attorneys, are ready to click breakout room and go over to breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
Yeah, needs a quick question. Will there be a break later on today?
Robert, will you be able to answer
Yes, I actually, your question is regarding to a restroom or something like that? Is that what you?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to take a restroom break right now, you could just go ahead to the restroom.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Excuse me, Robert, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is Alvin?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, members of the jury, thank you so, oops, I spoke before I saw my court reporter. Okay, there she is. Thank you, members of the jury. Please excuse the delay and we're ready to proceed.
Judge, could you give me a moment here? Because we have a juror that's just joining us, Mr. Ruddock, and he had some tech problems before.
Right, so Judge Bailey and I just spoke on the cell phone and we're gonna go ahead and excuse him because he's already missed a lot of the proceedings.
Okay.
You can explain that to him.
I will.
Yanni, maybe you can put him in a private room with Robert?
Yes, Judge Robert and Mr. Wayne, I'm going to go ahead and put you in a breakout room.
Thank
Mr.
you, appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming.
And Mr. Wayne, you don't have to do anything on your phone.
Excuse me, Judge. What juror number was that?
That is
That's
28.
number 28.
Thank
number
you.
20. Okay. Folks, I'm going to go into my next area of questioning. Would anyone on the panel suffer an economic hardship if they are selected and therefore they feel they're not able to serve? In other words, to put it plainly, they will not get paid if they serve on the jury. Does anybody fall under that category? Raise your hand if you do. Okay, there are no hands. Does anyone have a scheduling conflict with our schedule? During the quote unquote normal times, I would ask jurors if they have any vacation plans but nobody's going anywhere, as Ms. Grossman knows, because she's a flight attendant. So I won't ask you about vacations and travel plans, but does anybody have a doctor's appointment they can't miss between now and the 15th of July, which is next Tuesday or Wednesday, next Wednesday? And remember that we work the whole day, okay? So Mr. Sedeno, juror number 16, you raised your hand. Tell me what you wanted to say, sir. Oh, you have to unmute your button.
Yes, because the July 14 is my birthday and I have a holidays, but I don't have a problem.
You don't want to be with us on your birthday?
Yeah, 14 is my birthday.
Yeah, that's when we're going to be in trial. You don't want to be with us celebrating your birthday with your new friends?
Sure.
But if you're on jury duty on your birthday, can you serve?
Yeah.
Okay, you can party later, but not too much because I want you fresh in the morning.
Okay.
All right, okay. Birthday. We'll give you a make pretend cupcake on that day, unless we're in person. All right. So let me go to a different area of questions, a little more case specific. Does anyone on the panel work for an insurance company or ever worked for an insurance company, either now or in the past? Raise your hand if you've ever worked for an insurance company. Okay, there are no hands. Does anybody on the panel have their homeowner's insurance with People's Trust Insurance Company? No hands. Has anybody on the panel ever filed a homeowner's insurance claim for hurricane-related or storm-related damage? No hands. Does anybody on that panel have any reason why they believe they could not serve as a juror in this case? And when I was speaking to Ms. Merrick, she didn't realize that we were actually going to move into the courthouse when we pick a jury. So on Tuesday, the 14th, we're going to be moving into the courthouse for our jury selection. Maybe even if we finish this part early, maybe even on the 13th, on Monday, we're going to be moving into the courthouse with social distancing, the masks, the CDC protocols that I described. Okay. So I don't have any other questions for you. Thank you for answering all my questions. I'm going to give the lawyers a chance to speak to you and see if they have any questions for you. So let me go to the plaintiff's counsel first. Mr. Wass, do you have any questions for the panel?
Certainly, and thank you for the opportunity, Judge. Good morning, everyone. I certainly hope each and every one of you are doing well, staying safe in these unprecedented times. Again, my name is Brandon Wass, and I have the honor and privilege of representing People's Trust Insurance in this particular case that we're here to discuss today. I always appreciate when members of the public give up their time, but it's especially important in these times, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you. From a health perspective, and I don't mean to pry, but as a supplement to some questions that were asked previously, I'm sure we all heard on the CDC's website a whole list of health conditions that have been espoused in terms of, if you're in these particular categories, you may be at greater risk for the effects of the virus. Did anyone at any point, as they were looking through any of the materials, reading any of the materials, think, wow, that's me, I fit into those categories, I should take better care or caution, other than the individual jurors that we've spoken to privately already? No show of hands.
We have juror number 26, Mr. Wass.
I'm not seeing.
Hernandez.
Oh, Ms. Hernandez.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to discuss those particular issues with us in private, or would you feel comfortable sharing those with us here?
I feel comfortable sharing with you guys there.
Okay,
What?
You can go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I did not read the CDC guidelines, but I do work with COVID-19 patients. So
Okay.
I don't know.
And what is it that you do for a living?
I'm a CNA. I'm a certified nursing assistant.
Okay. And where are you a CNA?
Signature Brookwood Gardens.
Is that an elder care facility?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that while you work there, you have from time to time been in contact with COVID patients?
Yeah. I work with a COVID unit, so I'm constantly the patients I deal with are COVID-19 positive. I'm currently negative. As of last week, I got tested, but I'm constantly I'm exposed to COVID-19 patients the whole time.
In relation to your work, it's a full-time?
Yes, I work
Okay.
12-hour shift.
Do you believe that if we asked you to take the time to sit on this jury, that you would be without any type of hardship in relation to caring for those at Brookwood Gardens?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Do you believe you'd be able to serve and take time away from that job at Brookwood Gardens to assist us on this jury if we asked you to do that?
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate that, and thank you for letting us know that. Any other individuals that like to have the opportunity to discuss any such concerns? Okay. Does anyone have any general uncomfortability with having to go to the courthouse for a couple of days next week and listen to the evidence as it's presented? Anyone generally feel uncomfortable with that process? Okay.
Mr. Sedano has his hand up. Juror number 16.
You're on mute.
Yes, you have to unmute your microphone.
Sorry, I have a problem, but my English is limited. Okay, and I try to understand, but it's a bad English, really.
How much of the proceedings and questions thus far today have you had difficulty understanding?
But I understand about 30 or 40%.
Well, thank you for that. Obviously, it's important that you understand. And is your ability to understand verbally better or worse than your ability to read and comprehend like physical exhibits?
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm asking?
No.
If we were to give you a document to read, would that be easy? And that document is in English. Would that be easier or more difficult for you to comprehend?
It's difficult for me.
Understand. And thank you for letting us know. Better to know now than later, of course. Anyone else have any sort of difficulty with language? No show of hands. Does anyone feel that for whatever reason, as you sit here, that you have an interest in the outcome of the case one way or the other? No hands. I don't believe anyone said that they have people's trust for homeowners insurance. Let me start with you, Ms. Grossman, if you could unmute yourself. Are you currently a homeowner?
Not currently.
Okay.
Until last year I have been.
Okay. In the past, you've had the occasion to purchase homeowners insurance?
Yes.
Any thoughts, positive or negative, in terms of any experiences you've had with homeowners insurers in the past?
No, I've always had homeowners insurance with USAA, and I've had a couple claims, hail-related damage to a roof, and another like storm, but just, you know, a tree that fell onto our property before.
And did those particular claims resolve to your satisfaction?
Yes.
As you sit here today, with regard to my client, People's Trust, do you believe that they'd be at any sort of disadvantage in relation to the homeowners by happenstance of any experiences that you've had with your homeowners carrier in the past?
No.
Okay. Did you have any damage from Hurricane Irma?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Juror number 19, Ms. Sullivan, if I could trouble you to unmute yourself. Ms. Sullivan, can you hear us? There should be a little button on, okay, perfect, thank you. I appreciate that. I see here that you are employed full-time at the VA, is that correct?
That's correct.
Tell us about what an imaging tech does at the VA.
It's more advanced radiology, special procedures.
Have you had any interaction with COVID patients at the VA?
Yes, it's the hospital, yes.
Sometimes taking chest x-rays and things like of that nature are within the scope of your work?
Yes.
Do you believe that you'd be able to sit on the jury without any difficulty in relation to leaving certain of your patients at the VA behind, per se, for a couple of days?
Yes.
I'm sorry, yes, you would feel comfortable serving, or yes, you'd feel uncomfortable serving. I'm sorry if that was unclear.
Comfortable serving.
Okay. I see that on your juror questionnaire, you have a child who is special needs. Is that correct?
Yes.
Would the jury service potentially impose upon your care of your child in any way?
No.
Do you currently own a home?
Yes.
You have homeowners insurance?
Yes.
With whom?
New Hampshire.
You ever had any claims with New Hampshire or any other prior carriers?
Not that I recall, but Hurricane Andrew.
Going back to 1992. Anything since then in regard to interactions with your insurer that has left you with either a positive or a negative taste in your mouth?
No, I don't recall any other claims but Hurricane Andrew.
How do you feel about having to pay for homeowners insurance?
It's a lot.
It's a lot?
Yeah.
Do you view it as necessary versus something you're unhappy to have to pay for?
No, I have to pay for it.
No, but are you generally unhappy because you have to pay for it?
No, it's a necessity.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ms. Herrera, juror number 20.
Hi. Do you hear me?
Yes. Do you have a TV on in your background?
Give me a minute. I'm sorry.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
I want my phone. Sorry.
I know how to be, certainly. I see that you are a full-time imaging digital coordinator at South Miami Hospital. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
What does an imaging digital coordinator do? If you could explain for us a little bit.
Yes, we work with patients that I do a MRI, X-ray, CAT scan. So I help the technologists to put in the room, changing, and also get the all record that I needed.
Okay. And do you have any interaction with COVID patients while at South Miami Hospital?
Yes, but I think I'm negative right now. We have inpatients, a lot of inpatients with COVID-19.
And your spouse, what does he do for a living? He or she do for a living?
Sorry?
What does your spouse do for a living?
I can hear you. Can you?
Your spouse, it said on your questionnaire that he's self-employed. In what field?
Your spouse, your partner, your spouse.
Oh, my husband. I'm sorry. Yeah, my husband working I have a company like pest control company.
Okay.
That's what he doing.
And you have served on a civil jury before. How was your experience on that?
I've been there just one time, but they didn't me allowed to be there because in that moment, I have one kid that right now is 11 years, and that moment was, I think, 4 years old. So I've been there, so they didn't take me in that day.
Understand. How would you say your grasp of English is? You understand most of what we're discussing today?
Yes, maybe when I speak, but I understand all those you say.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate your time and your service. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Mr. Balela, did I say that correctly? I think.
Yes. Hi.
How are you today?
We will take
I see that you're a store manager at Nordstrom.
Yes.
Have you been working consistently since the retail reopened?
Yes.
Okay. I see you have young children at home as well.
Yes.
Your spouse is home with them during the day?
Yes.
Okay. Do you currently own a home?
I do not.
Do you have renter's insurance?
I believe my wife does, yes. It's under her name.
Any particular experiences you or your wife have had with that particular insurer in the past that's left you with a bad taste, good taste, anything in between?
Nothing. We recently had a home that we sold last year. I did have homeowners insurance on that. I had a pipe burst, so we did put out a claim. I don't recall the homeowners insurance company. I know it wasn't People's Trust, but I don't. I would be lying if I told you I knew the name of the insurance company.
Do you recall the outcome of that claim?
Yes.
Were you happy with the outcome?
Yeah, I would say I was satisfied. Yes.
Anything negative about the process that you recall?
No.
How long ago was that?
That was, I would say, about 3 years ago.
Did you hire an attorney?
No, I hired a public adjuster, which I don't know if that would be considered an attorney.
No, but that was going to be my next question. So
Okay.
you beat me to it. What was your experience like with the public adjuster, if you recall?
It was smooth. They walked us through the process and they helped us filling out our claim. They were the ones that responded to the house the moment of the incident. So they helped us with, getting the company out there to take out the water and make sure that there was no other damages to the house.
Okay. You hired a water mitigation company?
Yeah. Yep.
You know anything about People's Trust Insurance? Have you ever read anything about them?
I do not, no.
And I guess that question would apply to everyone on the panel. Has anyone read any articles, newspapers, videos, anything of the sort with regard to People's Trust? Ms. Sullivan, I wasn't sure if you... No? Okay, thank you. Anyone have any type of insurance adjusters in their families? No? Mr. Balela, I appreciate your time. Bear with me for 1 second. Mr. Hernandez, if I could pick on you for a couple more minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you currently own a home?
No.
No? Have you ever had any sort of insurance claims ever filed before?
No.
You have 3 children, is that right?
Yes.
And you are a single mother?
Yes.
Do you have any issues with childcare? If we were to ask you to serve on the jury, would that be an imposition upon you with regard to childcare?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. Mr. Quiroga. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you.
You currently work at Publix, is that right?
Yes, sir. I'm a essential worker.
I'm sorry, what type of worker?
I'm a struggler.
Okay. And have you been working consistently over the past several months?
Oh, yes.
Very busy there. You currently own a home?
Not yet.
Have you ever had any sort of insurance claim in the past?
No, sir.
Okay. You suffer any damage in Hurricane Irma?
No, sir.
How do you feel about potentially coming into the courthouse to serve on the jury next week?
I wouldn't mind.
Okay.
It will be a pleasure.
Well, we thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
And Ms. Salcinas, just a couple more questions for you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us earlier. Do you currently own your home?
No.
Okay. You ever had any experiences with insurance claims in the past? Okay. Thank you so much. I have no further questions for the panel.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Was. In just a moment, we're going to take a 4-minute comfort break, but I do have a follow-up question for our 3 jurors who are healthcare professionals. And I'm going to address this question to juror number 19, Sullivan, juror number 26, Hernandez, and juror number 20, Herrera. Okay, so let me start with, well, here's the question. What I'd like you to do is to describe for us if you do anything in particular when you come home from work before you enter your home regarding your clothes, your shoes. In other words, do you take any precautions at the end of the day when you walk into your home if you feel it's necessary? Juror number 19, Miss Sullivan.
Yes, actually, my sneakers or my shoes, they're left in the carport. And my scrubs, they go through the laundry room. I go through the laundry room to go inside. So all of the clothes there stay in the laundry room.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. And juror number 26 is Miss Hernandez. Same question to you.
Yes, like before I get off work, I wipe like my whole sneakers with Clark's wipes, put them in a bag, and when I come home, everything goes off. Like I take everything off before coming into the home and straight to the shower.
Very good, thank you. And Miss Herrera.
Okay, I do the same. I remove my shoes and when I finish my work, and then I go home to take everything to the laundry, and then I go to take a shower.
Okay, so that's what I hear health professionals do. Do they teach you that at work?
Well, that's something you
No.
should do.
That's just common sense, right?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so members of the jury, we're going to take a 4-minute comfort break. You can stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, get something to drink, and our tech people are going to put a timer on the screen that's going to show you what time is left. I've never seen that, but we'll see it now. So we'll be back in 4 minutes. There it is. Okay. Let me make sure everyone's back. I have my two lawyers. I have my court reporter. I have my clerk. And Yanni, are all the jurors back?
Hi, Judge. I see everyone on camera.
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. Mr. Baldwin, I'm going to turn the jurors over to you. And that I understand that we have to be finished with this session by 12:10 at the latest, because the next one is at 12:15. Well, this one's supposed to end at 12:15, so I just need a couple seconds.
No problem, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Well, it's the last few minutes of the morning, everyone. Thank you for participating in this process. We truly appreciate it. And you can see the links that we've gone to make sure that we can make sure that everybody has equal access to the courts during this important time. A couple follow-up questions. I'm going to start with Ms. Grossman, juror number 17. Ms. Grossman, did you have to hire a public adjuster or an attorney to assist with any of the prior homeowners claims that you had?
You're on mute.
Sorry. No, I did not.
Okay. Have you ever had to file a civil lawsuit or defend a civil lawsuit of any kind?
No.
Okay. Do you have any impressions or opinions about the civil justice system in Miami-Dade County, for example?
No.
Okay. If I said something like, do you think that attorneys are responsible for increased insurance premiums? Is that something that strikes a chord with you, or something that?
No, not particularly, no.
Okay. Have you ever served as a witness in any kind of case?
No.
Anything, any reservations you have at all about serving in a case involving a dispute between a homeowner or homeowners, my clients in this case, against an insurance company?
No.
Do you or your husband have any kind of experience maintaining properties, repairing properties, roofs, anything like that?
Yes, before we moved to Florida, we had some rental properties, but not, and they were insured, but we didn't have any issues with anything.
When you had your hail claim and your storm claim, did any of those claims require you to replace your roof?
Yes. The hail claim, they replaced the roof.
Okay. And approximately what year was that?
2016, I believe.
Okay. And the process was you just reported the claim, they went through the process, and eventually they paid you money to replace the roof?
Correct. I've always had homeowner insurance with USAA, and I made the claim online. They sent somebody out there, then they got a local roofing company to come and replace the roof.
Is your affiliation with USAA through your husband?
No, my father actually. So I've had it since I've had insurance as a car insurance as a teenager.
Fair enough. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Grossman. Juror Ms. Sullivan, juror number 19. For your homeowners insurance, have you ever had to hire a public adjuster or attorney, for example, for your Andrew claim?
No. No.
Okay. Have you ever had to hire an attorney for any reason?
No.
Okay. Do you have any impressions or opinions, strong feelings one way or the other about the civil justice system?
No.
Okay. Do you have any experience in property repairs?
No, I don't.
Yeah, thankfully not, right? For the Andrew claim, did you have significant damage from Andrew?
Yes.
Okay, and did that involve a roof replacement?
Yes, it did.
Did you have a fence of any kind that was damaged?
No.
Okay, and did you have any interior water damage from the storm? Meaning water coming in the drywall, water coming through the windows, anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. I know it's a long time ago.
Yes.
Fair enough. At the VA, do you supervise any other employees?
No.
Have you ever had any supervisory roles?
No, I had a lead role.
What is that?
Yes, I actually, not at the VA. I had supervisory role, but not at the VA.
Okay, and where was that?
The video jukebox or MTV.
And what was the nature of your supervisory or your managerial experience?
The position was assistant engineer
What does that
at
mean?
MTV.
Like
At
what would you
MTV.
do day to day?
I'm sorry?
What would you do day to day? What would be, how would you describe your job?
Which one? At the VA or MTV?
I'm sorry, at the DV.
At MTV?
Yeah, MTV.
My job was to supply the field engineers with whatever was necessary to get the cable head-ends and all the music video boxes up and running. So I had to make sure that they had everything and whatever was needed to keep these boxes going. I was in charge of sending that through to them.
And how many people did you supervise approximately?
Just the field engineers. So there were probably about 4 of them.
4 of them. And when we say engineers, we're saying the people that are actually installing the electronics?
That is correct, at the head ends, at the cable head ends.
Do you have any kind of, besides your imaging technician education and training, do you have any other higher level experience or education in terms of the engineering, that type of thing?
Well, I have an AS in engineering, electronic engineering, and also in radiology.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Ms. Sullivan. Juror number 20, Ms. Herrera. Just have to unmute, okay. Ma'am, have you ever had any kind of insurance claim of any kind?
No.
Okay. Do you currently own your own home?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know who your insurer is?
Citizen?
Okay. Have you ever had to hire a public adjuster or an attorney for any reason, even if it wasn't insurance related?
No.
Okay. Have you ever had to do any repairs to your roof, fence, or interior of your home?
No.
How long have you owned the home?
Like 16 years.
16 years? Okay, great. And in that 16 years, has your home ever suffered any damage at all from any kind of wind event, tropical storm, hurricane that you can think of?
I'm thinking, no, that I remember, no.
Okay, was the home built in the last 20 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's newer construction.
Mm-hmm.
As the digital coordinating at South Miami, do you supervise any other employees there?
No.
Have you ever had any supervisory roles?
No.
Do you have any opinions about the civil justice system, about plaintiffs' attorneys, defense attorneys of any?
No.
Do you have any experience at all, positive or negative, with an insurance claim in the process? Perhaps a family member that had some hurricane damage, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Juror number 23, Mr. Bonella. I know you obviously supervise a number of employees. How many would you say you supervise, and for how long have you done that?
So my current role, I supervise about 42 employees, and I've been doing that for the past 4 years.
Okay, do you have to get involved in HR decisions like hiring and firing, things like that?
Yes.
Okay, and what about things like coordinating with law enforcement, prosecution of shoplifting, that kind of thing?
No, not as much. That my loss prevention manager takes care of that.
Okay, all right. And do you enjoy the supervisory role?
Yes, yeah.
What position did you work your way up to that position within the company?
Yes.
And approximately how many years have you worked for the company?
11 years.
Have you always lived in Miami-Dade County?
I moved to Texas with the company briefly, and I lived in Dallas, but it was for 3 months. So for the most part, I've lived all my life in Miami-Dade County, yeah.
Fair enough. Have you ever, you said you had a public adjuster and the transaction worked out smoothly in the end?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if your public adjuster had ever had to discuss the potential for a lawsuit if the insurance company didn't comply with their obligations, things like that?
Yes.
Okay.
You did mention that to me.
Okay. Was there ever a point where you had to give a statement under oath to perhaps like a field adjuster, someone that came to your house?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your impression of that process?
Yeah, and at first, having a video record, I mean, I believe it was a tape recorder. I don't know if it was a video recording at the same time, but yeah, it was a little kind of taken back for the first time being recorded like that, but you know, it wasn't a big deal at the end of it, at the end of the day.
Fair enough. And you said this was 3 years ago?
Yeah, I would say 3 to 4 years ago, no more. And then I just recalled, since Ms. Herrera said her insurance company was Citizens, I remember that now.
Okay. Do you know if you currently still have Citizens?
I do not. I sold that home, and I'm on the verge of constructing a new home, and so we live somewhere else now. Yeah.
That's right. You said that. Do you have what they call builder's insurance?
No, I'm not building it that way. I'm having a contractor build it and kind of just sell me a full house.
Got it. Any reason at all you've ever had to hire, actually formally hire a lawyer?
No, not that I can recall, no.
Okay. Any experience that you or your wife has had or your family has had that you think would make it inappropriate for you to sit in an insurance case?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Actually, one more question. Any experience in the construction field or property repair of any kind?
No. Like I said, I like to consider myself handy around my own home when I had that home, as far as doing little minor repairs at home, but nothing to a level of greater than that.
And when you had the damage repaired from your claim, did you hire contractors or were you able to do it yourself after the water mitigation company worked?
I hired a contractor.
Fair enough. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Juror number 26. Ms. Hernandez.
Yeah.
You indicated you are not a homeowner and you've never had any insurance claims, correct?
Correct.
Have you ever had to hire counsel or a public adjuster?
No.
Okay. Any experience that you or family members had that you think would make it inappropriate for you to sit in a case about an insurance fight?
No.
Any experience in the construction or property management?
No.
No, thankfully, right? Have you always worked in the medical field?
Yes, most of the time, yes. I did work at a shelter in Homestead area, an emergency influx shelter for immigrant children.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you ever managed any other employees in any of your professional roles?
No.
Okay, just 3 children that require a lot of management at home, right?
Yes. Yes.
Do you have any impressions about positive or negative about the civil justice system in Miami?
No.
All right, thank you. Ms. Hernandez. Juror number 27, Mr. Quiroga. Have you ever had to hire, thank you, sir. Have you ever had to hire counsel for any reason?
No.
Okay, have you ever had to consider consulting with a public adjuster or a family member ever have to hire a public adjuster?
I believe my parents did, yes, but I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall do you live with your parents?
Currently, yes.
Excuse me, what? Currently?
Yes.
And do you recall if the home that you live in, their home, ever had any damage from Hurricane Irma?
Yes, they did. With the roof.
Damage did it have? To the roof?
Yeah, to the roof.
Was the roof repaired or did it have to be fully replaced?
It wasn't fully replaced.
Okay, do you remember, did they do it on their own or do they have homeowners insurance?
Homeowner insurance.
Do you know the name of the company they have?
I believe in Geico, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Anything about the process or their process that you can recall that gave you any impression, positive or negative, about the process?
Not at all.
Do you have any strong feelings one way or the other about, for example, lawyers or the civil justice system?
Not at all.
No experiences, positive or negative?
No.
Okay. And have you always worked for your current employer?
No, I used to work for Royal Caribbean, the process.
Did you change positions as a result of the pandemic?
No, not at all.
It was before, okay. All right, and have you ever had any supervisory experience or management?
Yes, I did. I did 6 years of management.
Where is it exactly?
I used a Royal Caribbean, the cruises,
Okay.
and clear at the airport.
Okay. And how many employees did you supervise when you were at Royal Caribbean?
30.
30, okay. And what kind of supervisory or managerial role did you have?
I was a logistics operations at the pier.
So that means make sure that everything's on the boat and the boat's ready to go?
Everything from guest assistant from the curbside to all the way to the ship, like the bags.
Did you enjoy
it? Yes, I did.
You like that? Okay. And at Clear, did you supervise other security personnel?
No, actually, the associate that work with the TSA, partnership with the TSA to help them to skip the line at the airport.
So that was a non-managerial. That was more your independent.
That's a private company. Yeah, that was a private company that working in the all US partnership with the TSA.
Okay. Did you supervise any employees when you worked at Clear?
Yes, I did.
How many?
About 40.
Okay, and what was your supervisory role there?
I was making sure that all the employees are making all the sales for this system. It's a VIP company that let you skip the line at TSA. So I'm making sure that all my people are doing the right things as a customer service and sales experience.
Did you have to get involved in any kind of human resources decisions like hiring and firing?
No, thanks God.
Did you chart the employees' progress, like the number of sales, and then tell them if they were ahead or behind?
Yes.
And if you had an employee that was really behind on their sales, or let's say the worst salesman on your team, what would you do?
I would see them separately, making like counseling statements to make improvements.
2 minutes, Mr. Baldwin.
Sure. All right. Anything that you feel would make you inappropriate to sit as a juror in an insurance-related case?
No, sir.
And if someone had to say, strike that. Juror number 29, Ms. Alcinas. You indicated that you're not a homeowner and you had no claims, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And have you ever had to hire a public adjuster or a lawyer for any reason?
No.
In your sales associate position, where specifically are you working?
Well, right now I'm working at Wawa, and normally I work with food.
Okay. How long have you worked there?
Over a year now.
And prior to that, were you employed?
I was working for a cruise line, Norwegian, and prior to that, I did work for a management group company, but back in 2016.
So you're anticipating questions already. So what kind of management role did you have?
I was just a receptionist front desk. So I worked in the office alone because it was a very small company. And I would just take in calls if they needed to speak with the person that I worked with. I would take down notes, their phone number, and just pass the message to them.
Do you have personally haven't had any claims or a homeowner, but do you recall, since you indicated you do live with family members that appeared, are they the homeowner?
Yes, my grandfather is.
Okay, and do you recall the home having any damage from Hurricane Irma of any kind?
I don't recall any, no.
Have you been living in the homes? Were you living in the home in 2017?
Yes.
Okay, and what about any other damage that you can think of to the home from a tropical storm event or hurricane, anything like that, as long as you can remember?
No.
Okay, and if there's something that needs to be fixed around the house that's more than, something simple, is that something that you would hire contractors for, or does a family member take care of that?
No, they hire like contractors to come and do the job if something breaks or anything.
Can you remember any significant repairs occurring in the last 10 years, for example, to the roof, a fence, any interior damage?
I think the only thing was the AC. They did have to get a new AC put in but that was it.
Okay. Do you remember if it was just stopped working or if it was leaking and then there was any kind of damage to the inside of the home?
It just stopped working. The AC just one day was not turning on.
Okay, Mr. Baldwin, I need to call time at this moment. We're on a tight schedule. If you don't mind, please.
Yep, done.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, members of the jury. This concludes this very short segment of jury selection. I need to have a caucus with the lawyers. It's important that I do that. Also, please watch your emails very carefully for the rest of the afternoon, because you will receive an email giving you an instruction regarding your jury service and what you are to do next. All right, so let me ask Yanni. Yanni, I am ready to conclude this session. Is there anything else from a technical side that you would like me to handle?
No, Judge, not at this moment. I just want to say I'm so proud of everyone that participated today. You guys are Zoom czars, Zoom experts.
Yanni taught us everything we know. You can imagine when this pandemic started, I had never even heard of Zoom. And she so patiently taught us all how to use it. Never yelled at us a single time. So we love Yanni very much. Thank you, everyone. Watch your emails closely. All righty.
Thank you so much, everyone.
And to my lawyers, if you can pop into the next meeting so that we could chat, I think that would be a good idea. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you for coming.